I wouldn't call the July meeting in order. Vince, would you lead us in a prayer tonight, please?
Yes, sir. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity we have to be here tonight. We ask that you would guide us and give us the wisdom to conduct the business of Ball Knob the way that would be pleasing to you. And we ask tonight, Lord, that you would also help us to know the best route to take. We commit everything in this meeting to you. In the holy name, Jesus, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. Appreciate everybody coming out. I'd like to see there's a lot of interest in the city goings on. We changed a few things from our agenda that we had at the last. Okay.
You got it amended.
No, we're not going to. Well, I guess what I was trying to say is we have amended the agenda, but it was only leaving some things out that we went through last time and decided not to deal with. So we're still going to be dealing with the things that we dealt with the other night. I just wanted to explain that if anybody has a separate piece of paper. So let's go back to the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
I move that we approve the public hearing minutes. Second.
All those in favor? Thank you. Unanimous.
I don't have anything on,
It's all right.
on ambulance. Do you, Danny, or
I reckon everything's good.
you paid your membership dues?
I hadn't did that yet.
It's too late now.
That special drive has come to an end, huh?
Yeah.
All right, fire committee.
According to the chief, we made, the fire department made 5 runs last month, and I think he wants to make an announcement about it, something coming up.
The ISO is gonna be here in August. ISO is the one that regulates our insurance rates from, fire hydrants, fire, water, fire equipment, fire trucks. And they come every 5 years, so we're on the schedule. They're gonna be here in August. I talked to them in Hot Springs. This past week, we had our, new truck down there on display at Hot Springs. And in fact, we'll have it in service Monday. But anyway, they're gonna come and do an audit. And the ones who don't know what that consists of, 40% of your ISO rating is your water, 10% is communications, and 50% is fire department. That's how it's rated. And we are a class 4 by 0.5 point. So hopefully we'll gain a few points. I don't know that we'll lower the rating, at least we'll be a little more comfortable.
That's what determines your insurance premium in the city limits, what determines your protection class.
Class 4 is great, excellent for a volunteer department. So it's kind of hard to get past that.
Well, thank you. I know you were proud to have your truck on display down there for everybody to see. Budget committee.
General fund beginning balance is $1,035,299. Receipts of $147,458. Disbursements $138,805. With the ending bank balance of $1,043,951. Street fund had $144,941. In the beginning, had receipts of $26,015. Disbursements of $13,053. With the ending bank balance of $157,904.
All right. Mr. Myers, you want to give a report on the, it says planning commission, but on the code inspections?
Yeah, the request for sealed bids to demolish 2 properties, 205 North Main Street, 304 Brandon Street, were sent in. They're gonna run in the paper on June 30th, July 3rd, July 7th, and July 10th. Being the 12th will be the last day they'll accept bid. And that's all.
And now our,
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
I have a question about the transferring 304 Brandon Street in on that.
Okay.
The ordinance called for two specific
Okay.
addresses, so
if
what
you-
would be the correct procedure?
Yeah, we're not taking any action till tonight anyway, we discussed it the other night. If y'all feel comfortable with making that exchange, we will, if you don't, we won't.
Okay.
It just,
904 Elm, is it Elm Street? That he's remodeling down across the track?
Yeah, that's not one that's on the list. I think it was 304 Brandon that got substituted because of the one. And I was just wondering what the process would be, because it would seem that if we have an ordinance, we might would have to amend that.
I think we would, because it's got a specific, address on it.
Two different
You're 100% correct.
Now, the reason being is because the one that was set to be torn down was already, the owner tore it down, right?
He did, or she did, yeah.
Why don't we just strike that one and write a new one, endorse a new one, because you gotta change the
So
address.
here's what we're gonna do, we haven't got there yet, but we're gonna put a moratorium on condemnations tonight. That's what, y'all are gonna discuss that and vote on it, I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse. But if y'all want to substitute it with amending that ordinance, from the one that was already on there and passed to Brandon Street, if everybody feels good with that, we'll amend that and, adopt the Brandon Street property instead of the other one. Vince, you're much on top of this, I mean, do you feel good with that, or do you want? Okay, then that's,
I won't vote for another one.
Okay. well, and I'm okay with that, I want you to know.
Oh, yeah, I'm just.
And, so we'll just, before we change anything, we'll just let the moratorium stand with everything 100%, if that's okay with council. So since we're already to that and we're on the, community development, could I entertain a motion to put a moratorium on condemnations for 30 days?
I'll make that motion with the idea that it would cover both building warnings and condemnations for a minimum of 30 days, while we as a city bring some city properties into.
Second.
Does this have anything to do with what we're already advertising for bids for, to tear down?
We've already got those approved.
So their moratorium's
we
not on
said-
them?
No, it would be the moratorium is going forward, that was the motion.
Anything from this one? Okay.
Okay, and it's good to have that discussion, because if there's any question, we need to address it. And, I think that a moratorium is a good thing. We've discussed this pretty much in detail with everybody that's, a part of it, because it's giving everybody a breather to step back and let's get caught up. And the reason for this moratorium, I want everybody to understand, is that we have three city properties that are in pretty bad shape, and everybody pretty much knows where they are. One of them is behind the old city hall, that, the old Don MD property. It used to be a building that was in an L shape. The city tore down the leg of the L and left it exposed, and it's our water department. Now, I just call it water department, Parks Place. And, so we looked at it the other day, and we're fixing to put out bids for, building the block wall and whatever construction to the, roof that's gonna be needed. Vince, is that pretty much in a nutshell?
Yes,
We've still got
yeah, the 304, he pointed
the
out.
advertising to be torn down lists 304 Brandon, and it should, that it was one that was a substitute.
Okay.
So if we're placing a moratorium,
And we just decided not to do that, to take Brandon off, so we're just gonna advertise.
Have you run
one.
ads?
Is everybody
Have you
okay
already
with
run
that?
ads?
One of them.
One of them?
Okay, we're gonna advertise the 205 North Main and strike Brandon. Is that kind of what everybody understood we were gonna do? I think that's what we voted on, Marco. Is everybody okay with that?
It was my understanding that we had come to an agreement that one would be put in there as a substitute on Thursday, and we didn't
No, we
vote.
didn't vote
So
on
on
it.
that-
We can go ahead and get the bids, we just don't have to,
Yeah.
till we decide to tear it down.
Okay, are y'all good with that? Because we discussed it Thursday night, but you can't solidify it till you vote on it tonight. So,
We can go ahead and take the bids and just tear it down.
Okay, so we clarify, we're gonna go ahead and let Mr. Myers run the ads, for the bids for taking down the Brandon Street property and the North Main property, just like you said.
You don't have to do it because you're right.
Okay, thanks for clarifying all that then.
I think we need a vote now.
On the moratorium,
Mm-hmm. All those in favor? Unanimous?
And at the next meeting, we will, reconsider, where we go from here. But in the meantime, we need to get together, Tammy, you and I do, and with Vince and the building grounds, and make up an ad, to get bids on putting up the wall and the roof on that building. I don't know the proper name to call that other than, Andy, what do you want to call that building we're talking about, replacing the wall? It's a water department.
That's our warehouse, that's where we
Warehouse.
store, we store our equipment.
All right, I just want a proper name for it, the water department warehouse. I think that, okay, I'll entertain a motion to allow the mayor to, get bids along, with the building grounds committee. I give the mayor approval to, seek bids on, the block wall and the roof on the water department warehouse.
I'll
We
make
already
the
have
motion.
it. We already have the motion.
No, I was,
You're making it?
yes,
Okay.
sir. I make the motion that we do
Make a motion.
Do it.
Bids.
that. I mean,
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
yes. I got it. So we're asking for a block wall.
And whatever kind of roof that we're gonna have to place. I'm thinking that we can salvage part of that roof, but I want it, an authority, other than my opinion, my hillbilly opinion. I'm real conservative when it comes to replacing stuff. Okay, next in line, I think we're done pretty much with the planning commission because that's gonna kind of, but just to clarify, Vince, you and I did talk about we're not gonna quit giving warnings on grass, and cleanup. This has to do with the structures until the city sets the standard getting our own properties together. I want everybody to understand that. So you still gotta mow. Okay. Community development, Mr. Allen.
I'd like to make a statement about community development. A few years ago, we were about to lose our school. This community come together and done something in a few weeks that everybody in this state didn't think we could do. That's because we was all pulling the same way. Negative comments does not help one thing. If you hadn't got something positive to say or help do, why stir up the water? Why don't we all pull in the same direction? And saving our schools is a good example of how it can be done.
I second that comment.
Now let's say Ball Rock, like we did in school.
Let's stay bomb. There you go. Okay, do you have anything to report on the community development though? Besides that was a very positive comment. I appreciate it. Park and Recreation Committee, Mr. Fagan.
We finished up our fall season. We will get together. I'm going to be calling a meeting with the Parks and Recreations Committee to get together. We'll go back and review what we did, how we did it, and how we want to proceed. I reported at the pre-council that we had some cameras out. Mr. Terry Williams just texted me about 30 minutes before I got here and said that the cameras at the ballpark are all working. but they were shuffled around somehow and got out of numerical order. But, he did say that however, the hard drive is out on the DVR, but it is under warranty and he's ordering a new one. So we'll be back up in good business out there as soon as he gets that DVR in.
That's good to know, because we were concerned about those cameras.
Yeah, I was worried about if we weren't having grounded enough or what, because it wasn't 2 or 3 years ago that we replaced them anyway, so, but they're fine. And, he's got them back in numerical order. And,
That's good.
but other than that, that's all I have right now.
Police committee, Mr. Harriman.
We had 1,922 calls for service, 752 security checks, 311 traffic stops, 198 citations, 81 warrants served, 28 city ordinance warnings, no citations. We had 54 community service people working, 3 felony cases filed, 44 misdemeanors filed, 116 prohibitioners, 7 registered sex offenders. You have something?
Yes, sir. I'd like to get approved for $1,836.40 for 2 new computers, one for mine and one for the probationers.
You know, what you're talking about really it's not a surprise. We knew that was coming, pretty much. So, technology the way that it is, we visited a little bit here the last few minutes about this. It is what it is, Nobody likes to spend that kind of money, but, the safety of our community is basically in the hands of that dispatch. And of course, office.
This is not for dispatch, that's just for the office.
Make motion to purchase those computers.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
Next thing, you each have received a contract of the new school. Everything pretty much stayed the same. All I did is go ahead and me and Ms. Tammy edited to where it reflected the new raise that the officers received per the. What? Say it.
I have a question.
Bring it.
There's 2 pages to this. What's the total?
Okay, it's on the second page.
So the 1836 is total for both computers.
That's what I asked to be approved. $1,836.40.
Sorry.
You're okay.
You know what?
Sorry.
It's all right. So we want to make a motion for that effect? He ain't finished.
That one's done. We just backtracked. Talking about the school one or no?
I've already voted on the computer.
Okay, listen, I was in the dispatch room the other day. There does seem to be a problem with that one. That's why I said that.
We have been having Pat come up
Breathing
there and
over.
check into it and stuff. As far as right now, he's been
Making it
doing
work.
different things to try and make it more improvement, so it might be in the future. It's kind of like the control board system. The whole law can speak to is.
Like I mixed up on that was why, because I know they're concerned
We've
about
had
that.
that control board. 14 years just for a control board, and we're running the city with that.
Is this contract mutually acceptable for you and?
This has already been approved by the board for the
School
city school. All it is to bring it here and for y'all to review it. If you need to take time to reflect, school don't start till May.
What did
So
you say you changed on this?
we changed the officers' pay scale since we had
Did
just
you run that?
received it.
Did you run that by them?
Yes, sir, that's what we had. First, she sent me the contract to redo it, and then I noticed they didn't have the pay scale correct. So I got with Ms. Tammy and the insurance, and we all figured that out. We sent it back to them, and they approved it to the board. And then she sent it back to us and said that they're good with it on their side. Once y'all approve, me, the mayor, and Mrs. Gibson will sign off on it. And it's set for this coming up year already.
So is this basically what you had given her to begin with, though? Basically?
Same one we had last year.
It's the same thing. The only thing that's changed is the
Salary.
pay scale. It has due to the raise.
Just one or two.
It's for both officers. You're just gonna be, it's gonna be per, it'll be double.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Second.
accept this. Okay.
I say,
I had a second by Alvin.
awesome.
All those in favor?
Thank you very much. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Street and alley.
You wanna do them bids first, Tammy?
If you want, I can. The first bid is on the dump truck. There's not a name on the envelope. It's Carl Steele, and he bids $500 on the dump truck. This one says the Chevy pickup. It's also Carl Steele, and he bids $400. This is the Ford tractor. I'm assuming this is, well, here's, yes, Carl Steele. He bids $750 on the tractor. The dump truck, Watson's Auto Sales, $1,313. Lester Butler, he bids on the dump truck, which is also what we call the fire truck. He bids $1,001 on the old fire truck. The 1-ton utility bed, or with utility bed, Watson's Auto, $555. Crenshaw Farms, a bid on the tractor. They bid $1,100 on the tractor. Dean Johnson is the next bid. The 1981 Chevy dump truck, he bid $1,380, and the 4630 tractor, he bid $1,410, and the 1999 Chevy utility truck, $830. Joe Spradlin has placed a bid on the 81 Chevy dump truck. $430.80. And a company called Lynn's Enterprise out of Purvis, Mississippi. The 1981 Chevy dump, $577, and the Ford 4630 tractor, $1,377. This is the red dump truck. $750 by Peggy Best. This one says fire truck, dump truck. $1,400 for the dump truck. That's Larry House. That's it
That's all.
on that one. This is for the asphalt roller, and this one also is from Joe Stradlin. $138.10. Dwayne Britton has bid on the 4630 tractor. He bid $700. The last bid comes from Alan Williams. He has $500 for the 1981 Chevy dump truck and $700 for the 1999 Chevy utility truck. And those are all the bids I have.
What did you have on both of those?
On the what?
On both of those, the dump was how much?
The 1981 Chevy dump truck was $500
Okay.
and $700 for the 1999 Chevy utility truck.
Thank
Looks like Dean Johnson's a high bidder on the tractor for 1410. Utility truck, he's also a high bidder at 830. Larry House is high bidder on the dump truck for 1400. And Mr. Joe's a high bidder on the roller for 138. Is that all of them you got?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion we sell these products.
I'll second.
All those in favor? It's unanimous.
I appreciate all the bids.
Dean Johnson, utility truck. That's the water truck. What's the top of the water truck? For the next month, I'd like to go ahead and do some more cleaning up and sell the disc, angle blade, finish mower, bush hog, and a leaf vac. Like get them there's some stuff we're never using. It's just taking up space, it's jumping up the place. So I'd like to get a motion that we take bids on that next month. Go ahead and finish cleaning up.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
The only other thing I have is we got 4th Street gravel. I mean, not gravel, we got it graded. We need to get gravel put on 4th Street. And we also have a spot on Richardson which needs gravel. And it's the city will haul the gravel for us, and it should run anywhere between $4,000 and $5,000. I mean, county should. So I want to make a motion that we do that also. Get that taken care of. And we'll have all our gravel roads up to date until we can get them paved someday in the future.
Sounds good to me.
Second.
Did somebody make a
I'll
motion?
second.
Everybody in favor?
All those in favor?
How much is on Richardson Street?
We have one block.
So,
Yep. The very tail end of right past Hendricks. It goes down and tees into a street called Delaney, I believe. Is that what? I couldn't really read it. Danley, whatever. Okay.
what about the one that goes down beside the railroad track?
Beside the railroad track.
Groves?
Groves.
Yeah, Groves.
That's county, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe.
Not unless they absorbed it.
Well, they just couldn't put gravel down.
Half of Groves is on sale, it was up to the viaduct.
Oh, it is? Well, maybe we won't have them all call that.
Well, in
We'll
the
have that
past,
part
the
called
county
anyway.
did. In the past, the county gravel.
They just put gravel on here. Not long ago.
out there, someplace.
That's all I have, but Larry's got a couple of items.
We've brought Joseph Hurst on board with the street department. He worked on that WIOA program out of Batesville. His time was up 6 months. and, he's helping me run the backhoe as we're cleaning ditches. That way we've got 2 operators. He was making $9.75 with that company or that program. I'd like to start him out at 10. And Jeremy Rutherford, which runs our, yeah.
We need to make a motion to do that. I'll make a motion.
Second.
On Joe.
So please make sure he's on.
975 to 10?
Yeah,
No,
that's what he was making on that program.
we actually hired him as full time after his program finished up.
How long did he work?
He worked 6 months on that program.
All those in favor? It's unanimous.
And then Jeremy Rutherford running the boom truck. And I'd like to bring him from 10 to 11.
That what we're paying Carl?
I don't know for sure what
car.
Carl was
He was
making. I
making
think he
12.
was making a little more.
I'll make a motion, we give Jeremy the dollar. He's done a real good job, no incidents,
Yeah,
no
we
bad
didn't have
stuff,
no
so he's
problem
done,
out of it.
he's done real good, he's been real attentive.
All those in favor? It's unanimous.
That's all I have.
We're to our airport committee.
Okay, everybody's got a copy of this letter that I handed out from the State Department of Aeronautics. Johnny, this is the one that you and I ran off up here that day.
Okay. Well, it ain't just packaged to me.
No, it's not in the packet. I
It's a
had
month.
handed them out to everybody else.
Yeah,
that
it's a
didn't
month
read.
ago, mine's in my notebook.
Okay.
You want to bring us up to speed on those?
I don't want to get this to you. It's just to apply for a grant, is what it is for the airport.
I think what we need to do as a body is we need to endorse that and authorize the mayor and whoever to make that application. There's no guarantee,
Right,
but if we don't ask, we sure won't get it.
right.
So I'll move that we proceed with that application, funding for the airport. What's the date of that letter?
May 22nd.
I'll second.
All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Airport's important. Buildings and grounds, Mr. Byer.
First thing that we've had for quite a while, it's down here in old business, but I'll go ahead and propose that, y'all be okay, we can go ahead and get this out of the way, is the sound system, because June 1, the state made that requirement that went in that we are to tape all of our meetings. So I would move that we would go ahead and adopt or take the bid that Terry Williams provided, an amount of $3,701.60, a fully portable system. He did say that it could be integrated into a video system at what point the state said we had to go video. So I move that we adopt that.
I'll second.
Okay.
All those in favor? That's unanimous.
And just to let everybody know that we did have an issue with the air conditioner for dispatch. It died a very ugly death. And so me, not knowing much about buildings and grounds, but being over it, we went through quite an ordeal, but they do have a new air conditioner back there. there. And also the fire station had an issue with their air conditioner today. Mr. Soliday took care of that.
He's got a little bit of an issue, it's completely under warranty.
He got that taken care of. And, we're in the process of finishing up the ceiling tiles and everything at the.
That's a window unit, right?
Yes, that's a window unit for the dispatch.
Is there any way to duct from here over there to put it on? No?
They have a central unit in that building.
Do you have a central unit?
It does in the back section, but I believe since it was a garage or something, it was made into an office. The ductwork does not fit the dispatch cool, so back in the days, they just put in a heat and air window unit.
Is that what went out your window unit?
Yes, that's,
We didn't have that on the contract or anything. We do have the police department, and that
And it does.
that unit would be inadequate to, to go and add that much. Might, some point, look at adding a mini split or, if the unit in the police department ever has to be replaced, it would be easy to upgrade it and add ductwork to take care of dispatch. That would be simple and probably very cost effective.
Vince, what is that, AC cost today?
$624. That's what it ended up being. And it was that expensive due to the fact that it is a heating and cooling unit.
Right.
But it, I was in there Friday night before they got the stopgap measure, and it was like 87 degrees in there. It was not a safe working environment for anyone. Another air conditioner issue, I know that we're still having issues at the animal shelter, and maybe at the point that we are able to do what expansion that we're going to do, maybe we can look at something there, because it's not, it's tough on them too. They have to clean the kennels and everything. It's 95 degrees and super humidity.
That unit that's at the animal shelter, as I understand it, was a used unit when it was installed, and it was woefully inadequate for what they're trying to do. And the way that they've got it installed, the intake return system works kind of like vacuum cleaner. I think it picks up more dog hair than anything, and it needs to be reconfigured a little bit. And I mentioned it to Barth when we put the city under contract. At some point in time, when everybody wants to, if y'all want to do like a fundraiser or something, I might be able to get a distributor to sell us some equipment at a discount, and my company will put the unit in at no charge, since it is for the animal shelter. So, what we need to do is we need to increase the size of the unit, but we also need to reconfigure the ductwork so that it's not picking up so much dog hair.
And I do know that since we do have some other things to speak of with the animal shelter here in just a little while, maybe we can look at some of those. It's certainly not trying to put you ladies off, because I know there's no way I could, I'd melt. Not because I'm sweet, it's because fat. But I believe those are some things that we need to address from buildings and grounds perspective, because also with the cleaning up the city properties, I feel very strongly that if we're going to expect somebody to live to a certain standard, we need to make sure our house lives to that standard. So that's, and also the senior center, it's a little bit down here, but we are working on that ceiling down there. And I know in just a moment the ladies will present to you an idea to have the city council's approval to go after a grant, not for us to spend money on it. They are asking to pursue a grant to expand some things and do some work there. So as far as that, that's all I have. Buildings and grounds, and then we'll take those.
That was quite a mouthful. Right? I think that's a lot of positive things that brought about tonight there. And we're also going to probably discuss some zoning here pretty
Yes.
soon. We can bring that up yet, so
Yes.
that's really the kind of place to bring that up to. So, but we can't make any decisions on it yet, so.
If you'd like for me to, I'll address that right now.
Go right ahead.
Uh,
We talked about it enough to.
Yes, I would like to see during our moratorium that we as a city council, along with the planning commission, get together to look at our ordinances that govern zoning of residential 1, residential 2, residential 3, because I believe that we have some things that are off kilter a little bit. I continue to hear that, well, we don't really want to have mobile homes in this area or that area. We don't want somebody to rent a mobile home. And I've even heard in our last meeting that some of us that live in mobile homes are less. To be honest with you, that has no place, especially from city officials. And it's time that we recognize there are people, this could be affordable housing. HUD covers mobile homes now, so we probably need to step into reality that not everybody's going to be able to own $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 home. Not everybody's going to be able to afford to rent something like that. And it's time we take a step as a city governing body to look at our ordinances, amend them where they need to be amended, trash some of them if we have to, and start all over. I don't believe that tonight we can make any kind of motion toward that because we need to sit down and really look at it, make sure we get it right. But that's the spill from the fat guy tonight.
I think it's very wise, and it's time to step in to see where we're at as a city right now. So, and mobile homes, they continue to improve. So I don't think anybody will argue that, but the zoning does have to come into play. So, committee, our committees do meet on the second. I'll make everybody remember, all of our committees meet on the second Tuesday of every month, and not every committee meets every month. But what you're talking about right there is where we'll discuss that.
Yes, sir.
The second
We're
Tuesday.
talking about that planning commission meeting, we need them to start bringing the stuff they're gonna mail out to the city council before they mail this stuff out. It sure does create a big uproar.
Okay, now,
I mean,
specifically, what are you talking about?
well, the one on the trailer deal. That got sent out to some people about they couldn't rent a mobile home now.
Okay, you do, I know you do, you stay on top of things, but you do realize there was ordinance in 1985 that addressed that. It was superseded with one in 2000, not 03.
Right.
It was 2003, and that's the one that we're still being governed by. And it does say in there that you cannot do it, and that's why we're going to have that meeting. It's time to review that.
It's hard for us to implement that when we do it as a city. We have a
There's
trailer on our own
people renting
property.
them right now. You're right, and it's just been neglected, but
I'm
it's
thinking-
still our law.
I really think that whatever goes to the planning commission should be brought to the council before it's thrown out to the public.
Well, and
It's something we need to look at doing.
okay, but the one you're talking about though.
I'm not talking about just that in general. There's been a whole bunch of stuff here, so.
Well, everything that they have sent out, they do get here for approval, these condemnations and about the tear downs and, the bids and everything. But anyway, that's where that'll be discussed at, and, it's time to review that. I mean, there's no question about that, I agree with you.
Those letters are sent out before they come to the council and get it approved.
But I wanna address one more thing. These letters are not the planning commission. It is the code inspector and enforcer. It's because that Chuck is needing some help, they've stepped up to help him. It's from that department. I mean, that's what it's getting, people are getting mixed up. But anyway, we just need to review everything at that meeting, and we'll ask everybody to come there and get into it deeper. But it's actually everything that is sent out comes through the inspection department.
Well, whoever's doing it is making the city council look pretty stupid.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
can tell you that right now. I really don't appreciate it.
That's why we need to review it. Okay, now. Personnel committee.
No action.
Okay. Well, that's the time.
I would like for us to go into executive session to deal with the personnel issue. that I.
And we won't be in executive session very long.
Oh, no,
so
no, no, this is
don't-
not.
Everybody, sometimes we stay in there longer, but this won't take all that long. We do have a personnel matter we do have to address, so. Call the meeting back to order. We had a personnel issue that we had to discuss. No action was taken. So we're going to pick up where we left off. And, I'm going to go, before we go back, I can put this under new business, but I'm going to go back to the police committee. I received this in the mail today. It's Arkansas State Animal Control Association. It's a training conference in September. I know that's a while away, so I just want everybody to realize that it's a $375 full week training session. And I want everybody to be thinking about that. We don't have to vote on it tonight, but to make to save money on the rooms and and everything, it's got a time frame on it. It'll be August the 19th, so it'll be on our August agenda. I just want everybody to realize that to vote on it. And it'll be sending
the course fee, or is that room and all?
no, the rooms are separate than that. They're $70, $72 if we get them booked by August the 19th, which is in time for us to have our August meeting. 4 nights, I think. Yeah, 4 nights. It's $375 for the conference. So it's 72 times 4, so almost 300 and 375. 6, 7, yeah. Well, it will be 700 with gasoline, It's in Little Rockville, Kansas. But, there's a lot of things that, we're really setting the standard for animal control, believe it or not, in this area for small towns. And this is the next step. Y'all done a lot. So y'all got to look at this. I'm sure that y'all are in approval on this, right? But we'll vote on it at our August meeting. And that'll be so we can take advantage of the savings. All right. We'll go to the Water and Sewer Committee. Mr. Hodges.
We had $1,285 in new deposits, had $1,316.08 in delinquents. And you have anything you want to bring up?
Not right now, no, other than the Darmar, which is,
We'll get to that in minutes. Okay. We'll go ahead, Mr. Hodges. We can't tell everybody the last findings that we've got from our legislative audit till tomorrow, right? Isn't that what it said? Yes. So it's really nothing more than the newspaper, had last week, but still yet it will be public tomorrow. And at that time, Mr. David Lowry, if you want to, you can come see me and I'll show you what I've got here. It's really nothing much more than what we had before. Old business. Trash pickup bid accepted. Discussion. We had our meeting and we reviewed everything in our pre-council meeting last Thursday. We appreciate everybody putting in. We had 6 companies putting in, and we appreciate everybody putting in, a bid. And
Out of the 6 solicitors, the low bid was from Green Environmental in the amount of, it's broken down per thing. One month's fee would be $26,363.35. They were the lower bid by $1,000. So,
and that's across the board.
that considers everybody. And hopefully,
But those numbers, we'll probably have to have a little bit of an increase, but I think it'll be a minimal increase. It's not like a big jump. But there were some discrepancies about, and I'm the guy that did it. There was an alternative bid from Green in the amount for a 7-year lease, rental or agreement. And I think with Waste Management, it was always like 7 years, but I think it actually only asked for a 3-year. So probably what we'll do, we need to talk to our attorney to be sure. But anyway, I'm going to move that we accept the bid from Green Environmental. And we're looking at either a 3-year bid minimum or 7-year bid maximum. But they were the low bidder.
Which one do we vote?
Let's just go for the 30, Donnie. There was
Well, I think it'd be left up to our attorney.
The attorney. Which one we're gonna vote on?
Which one we accept. I mean, a year. It's 3-year or the 7-year.
What you got to say?
Well, y'all had talked about a motion awarding us, making us the contractor of choice.
Green.
Yes. And then another motion would be whether is what y'all has.
That's the way I understood it, but
yes,
you're saying we need to talk to the attorney?
Well, see, didn't I send you that letter?
Yeah.
Okay.
From Waste Management, yeah.
One thing, he kept saying bid, and in a bid situation, that would be the case, because a bid is a bid is a bid. Y'all put out a request for proposals.
On purpose.
We own for that reason, so that y'all could weigh value, not just price, but value of the contract. So once you select a contractor, and I've done this for 23 years, and I know Mr. Wheatley very well, then the city can go into an agreement with the selected contractor for the amount of years you like. So that's the way it is. If you want to get that from Mr. Rainey, I think that's prudent. But I would like for y'all to make the motion awarding us.
Right.
And then we'll have to move fairly quick, and only depending on when we start, because I'm not going to be able to get funds until I have a signed agreement. And we have to make a determination, is that 3 or 7?
Well, the 3 versus the 7, it would just be to lock in the price, that we're getting for 7 years. Otherwise, why do that?
If I could get a copy of the resolution awarding us so that I can get that, I need some paper, I can tell him what we have, but if he's loaning me the kind of money he's loaning me.
I don't know what kind of time frame Don wants, but I think he just saw that today. He saw that letter.
Before you guys vote, is that okay?
Do what?
Could I say something before we vote?
Sure.
Okay, I'm Tom with WCA, and we want to say that we're grateful for the city allowing us to, put our price in. It's been a pleasure to meet everybody and to be a part of your meeting. I'm not sure how you determined who you would choose. I know that there were 2 ways to go: the automated system, which I think you're using now with Waste Management. Then there's the other way to go with the hand toss into the rear load containers. I'm hoping that you considered, pros and cons to that, because, of course, if you look at the proposal, you would see that we were the low bid on the automated system. So just want to say thank you, and hopefully that you did look at, those pros and cons and gave us good consideration. And we've been working with City of Alton for a long time, and we thank you for that too. We're just grateful. So that's all I have to say. Thanks so much.
We appreciate you applying, and it was considered. I want you to realize that.
Okay.
But this time we decided that the manual, service is what we need to go, and we appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Cleveland Klein. I'm a council member, and this is Derek Goff, council member of BD. And we've had a Green Environmental for 2.5 years. we could not be happier, and you guys will be.
That's what you meant.
It is. You will be so happy with them. I asked our mayor today. I said, "Do we have any complaints?" And he said, "I don't." But he said, "Ask the secretary." Asked the secretary. She said, 0. So.
Well, that's what I was told, and another city we called and checked on, and everything checked out, and all that was taken into consideration too. Matter of fact, we called them when we were having a meeting, So we appreciate y'all coming and speaking for us.
There was a point system, this, program, or I forgot what it is, and I don't know the exact proposal. It's based on like 25 points for one thing, 30 for another, 25 for another, 20 for the cost. And we feel like cost is a big thing. And especially with as much rental properties we have, senior citizens and all. That wasn't the only thing. But cost-wise, I mean, if you want to just say, hey, we're going to take bids, and here's the bids, and right here's the total, and this is the total for the little hand carts that you take to the curb. It's for the 2 yards, the 4 yards, the 6 yards, and the 8 yards, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. I punched these numbers for 2 weeks, and about a week and a half into it, I figured out I'm wrong. And my wife said, "I'm going to kill you." It's really Tammy's fault. What we did is I asked that when you people come in and pick up a bid application or a proposal application, you sign a thing so that if it comes down to it, you were here on Thursday and somebody else was there on Friday. But unfortunately, from my observation, I didn't realize that you didn't bring them back in that order, and I did not see that receipt thing that Tammy has. So my numbers weren't jiving, and I could not figure out what it was because I jotted down the numbers that she read, but those numbers did not calculate. So when I got it back, y'all presented them back to us. The first one was WCA, second one was cards, third was waste management, green was fourth, waste connection was fifth, and waste pro was the sixth. So that's the sequence that y'all submitted your proposal back to us. That's nowhere near in the order that you picked up the things. And that's how I was calculating them. I was in column 1, and you really wasn't. Which one are you? WCA? Okay, you're column 1 now. But that's not where I had everybody. But I took all those numbers. I came up and threw myself on the mercy of the clerk treasurer, and she does this every day. She ran them.
You put a lot of time into that, Mr. Quality Control. I appreciate all the time.
I won't bore you with the numbers.
But there was one other thing that we did, take into consideration in that service, and that's a big thing to our community right there. We want. The biggest complaint that we had was, they just dumping them and leaving the carts right where they got dumped. In our contract, we've got it written in, that we put off to the side of the road in a safe place. We feel good with that.
And I can truthfully say, every Monday, what's the other trash day? Tuesday, Wednesday, that I've been at the water office for 30 minutes or an hour, they get a call saying they missed my can or something's wrong with the pickup or whatever. And I hear that, just overhear that. I don't turn around and say, "Did you hear that?" I just overhear it. And I know it's a problem. I sat back there in that meeting with Mr. George, and and he can only do what he says he'll do. Those employees, those people on the truck are his backbone.
I know Wayne, and I know that you do.
Thank you. We need to move on.
So I'm going to move that we submit this to our attorney, and he has no objection with the 70. That's what the committee, and really it was a committee as a whole, because other council members showed up, and I was tickled to death that they did. We all saw the same numbers, we discussed it the same, so we all felt like we'd save a little bit more money by going with 7 years.
So we'll adopt 3 and 7, Mr. Raines
I think the
says.
procedure is
That's what we did. When we signed it for 37.
To do a-
I mean,
is this a resolution? So we should, choosing them as a contractor?
Yeah, I'm gonna propose that we do that. We'll have to get a resolution approved by the mayor, by the attorney. I think.
I don't wanna adopt 3
To
and
choose
7.
them, to adopt them as our contractor?
No,
We can make that choice
That's
tonight.
Correct.
But it
It's
might-
term, 3 year or 7.
We gotta make a motion to accept them and then vote.
That's, I'm making that motion, we gotta get it.
Second.
All in favor? All right, thank you. Congratulations. And once again, we appreciate everybody else.
If it doesn't work out, we're gonna call you.
I'm gonna walk them out.
Because that's on record now.
You won't be let down. Thank you.
You're gonna pay them what you get out there.
Vince,
They're going to Houdat.
Yeah. Vince, you have, no, it's closed today, for 3 weeks, remember that, we'll put in a plug for them, they'll be open on 23rd. Vince, you got the, sound system,
Yeah, we made that's passed.
cross that off, yeah. Darmar subdivision acceptance of limited water and sewer use, Andy, you wanna go ahead and make your presentations?
Well, it's just like in a pre-council meeting, the ADH, all they require is that he has access to sewer, which he does, and our back T samples came back, fine. And that's all they require him, to get water turned on. But as far as the sewer system, that is there. We cambered it, we're gonna do a smoke test for Johnny and let him put a visual on all the issues on that. But it does run under a structure of, neighboring, property. And to me, that negates that sewer system. I wouldn't change it because it is a pretty good sized shop, concrete. And, unless that can be rerouted, which in the future, but he does have, other options, which I talked to him Saturday. He seems to be happy with the grinder pump to go to 4th Street. As far as I understand, that would be his option to do, other than to tie into that system.
So his plan A is now the grinder. Plan A is now the grinder, yeah.
But he does have access to the sewer, so
And the
that's
water.
all they require.
And then the water,
The water, the pressure test,
pressure
the
test.
engineer did, held, he signed off on it, ADH, sent a letter, and he talked to ADH, and he sent a letter, which you all have a copy of, and, everything seems to be in line. Great for water, at least.
yeah, but the water, I think is ready for everybody to be considered, for approval, with the understanding that the grinder is the option that he's got right now.
Right.
And after you smoke it, let's see, but you just addressed the other about going over the shop. So, that's something that, before if he requests to go into the sewer, we'll have to readdress it.
Yeah, it'll have to be rerouted around the structure that it's under right now. That's what I suggest. And y'all know all about the other part, it's just totally unfunctional. But as far as this part, he had a few obstructions in that line, but it did go under, the whole subdivision goes under the property. So I would say the grinder pump would be his best bet right now.
And you did make it pre-council, you let everybody know that the rest of the, sewer, will have to be replaced.
Yeah. We are gonna smoke it.
And it may be the whole sewer, when you get done.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so, but anyway, I want everybody to understand that, but the water, do I hear a motion, to?
I so move.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous?
Thank you.
I abstain.
Opposed? We got one no?
No.
Okay. 5-1. Okay. Motion passes. All right, Old business, what we got left, animal control ordinance changes. Dennis, you wanna address that pretty much, do you feel comfortable with the changes that have been made? I think I do, but I mean, you're the committee head right there. You wanna make a motion, that we,
I'll make a motion that we accept the
changes
changes.
made? And,
I'll second.
All those in favor? It's unanimous.
I need to speak for a moment. So, Friday, I did not work, I had my weekend person work, and a couple came to the shelter and decided that they were going to adopt one of our dogs. During the situation, they were failed to be notified that the dog had heartworm. They were failed to be notified that the dog had uricula, which is a type of tick disease. They weren't giving the dogs medicine. They weren't giving any paperwork. And then Rachel, the lady that worked that day, she couldn't do the home visit that day, so she scheduled it for Saturday. But she couldn't work Saturday because she fell at work on Friday. And so Samantha worked on Saturday, and she did the home visit. And she got to Batesville with the dog, and she was not informed that the people didn't have the paperwork, that the people hadn't paid the adoption fee, and that there was medicine that needed to be sent home. She wasn't notified any of this. So the couple has the dog, and they told us that the dog wasn't eating and that he was acting very weak, and so they took him to the vet Sunday around 2-ish. In Batesville, and the emergency vet in Batesville told them that the dog had tick fever and had a 20% chance of living, and it would cost about $4,000. And so they put the dog down, and then they contacted the shelter, and they contacted Rachel, which was part of the shelter, and was very heated about the situation because their vet told them that the dog had heartworms and it had uricula, and they wanted to know why they weren't informed. And so Rachel gave me their number. And I called and I tried to speak with them, and I told them, I said, I don't have an excuse as to why you weren't told. Like, I honestly don't. I mean, you should have been told. You should have been given paperwork. You should have been given minutes. And they're very heated about it. They're saying very mean things on our shelter page right now. But they've asked for this adoption fee to be returned, and I told them that I could do that. But they also want to be reimbursed from putting the dog down. I don't have a copy of the receipt because they were getting so heated that I was told by William Mack to not contact them anymore until after I've spoken with y'all. And but they did inform me that it was a little over $500. And so I would like to ask if the city could reimburse them that much money to calm them down and for their loss.
I got a question. Is it normal business for the shelter to adopt on the weekends?
It has happened in the past. It's not as frequent as it is during the week, but it has happened.
Okay.
But after the situation, I've sent both Rachel and Samantha a group text explaining them to not adopt out any dogs, to not do any paperwork, to not do anything. If somebody comes to the shelter while they're on the club, they can show them the dog, they can interact with them, and give them any information that they personally know, but to let them know that they need to come back when I'm there so we can actually
They're not trained to do it. You're right. And that, but if we looked at it going into Monday through Friday adoption only, would that really be a problem?
No, it wouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay. I would like to request that that's the way that you operate the shelter. So do we hear a motion to,
I have a question.
go ahead?
So you just said that they had paid the adoption fee, but they wanted an adoption fee.
No, they did pay the adoption fee, but Rachel didn't get it from them, so Samantha had to get them for them when she did the home visit.
Okay. Understood.
I would think we need to see receipts for the
Right,
down.
right. That's what I started to say. We need the receipts.
Before we pay it,
Before it's
y'all,
paid, yes.
but if
Well,
y'all
I know
want,
they're blowing up the Facebook
Yeah,
page
I
and not
think-
saying very good things
Yeah.
about any of us.
Yeah. I think,
Lindsay, very, very bad.
okay, here's what I would like to see done. I'd like to entertain a motion to authorize me to look at the receipts, and when I get it, to pay up to, let's say up to $600, whatever it is, and learn a lesson. And we will only adopt out Monday through Friday. I think that I feel more comfortable with that. because that's when we've got our trained people, there. I think it was oversight. I don't think there was any ill, intent there. But, we have it wrong, we've got to right it, learn from it, and go on. I so move.
Second. Okay, now before we go any further.
Let's.
All those in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Now, before we go any further, we've got this bid to add on to the shelter. An estimate, I'm sorry, an estimate, and it's $19,050.
$19,950.
That's for the block.
Oh, it's 8,900 blocks, and it's 11,950, so it's 19,950, I think,
I
total.
have a question. So I know that we're in the process of trying to find a building to make for the quarantine space. We went over these sizes and the sizes have been changed and people have been coming in and out. But I've been thinking, what if we were to because we need more than just a quarantine space. We need
I'll make a
more.
motion, we table this till next month. You get it in your mind what you want, you get in your mind what they need or they want, and let's have one proposal. Next month.
Well, yeah, and we're gonna discuss it at our Tuesday.
I thought we had it all.
Well, here's what I wanna do. I want to, have the committee meeting on the second Tuesday. We're going over this a little more fine tuned because, we're still getting the estimate. I mean, it's here an estimate, but it needs to be, we've got an estimate, we need to review it, then we need to look, but there again, we've got an estimate, now we know our specifications and actually put it out for bid. I mean, it's $50 less, help me out here, $50 less than what we would have to bid it for. Is that correct? Am I correct? I think I am. But there again, it's an estimate.
But then if it's not what they want or they need, then it's not what we need to do.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes, we'll discuss it.
Yeah, Tuesday meeting, anybody that's interested, appreciate y'all coming, appreciate you getting all this together, because this is quite an undertaking right here, we do need to do it correctly. So at our committee meeting, the second Tuesday. Okay, we've already been through the bids, so, new business resolution R 2019-24.
Whereas the city of Ball Knob, Arkansas seeks to improve the recreation facilities and wishes to seek grant funding assistance, and whereas in order to obtain the funds necessary to develop and or improve the site for such a recreation area, it is necessary to obtain an outdoor recreation matching grant from the Arkansas Department of Parks and Tourism, and whereas the plans for such recreation areas have been prepared and the price therefore has been established, and whereas this governing body understands the grantee and grantor will enter into a binding agreement which obligates both parties to policies and procedures contained within the outdoor recreation matching grant application guide, including, but not limited to, the following. The park area defined by the project boundary map submitted in the application must remain an outdoor recreation use in perpetuity, regardless if the property is bought or developed with matching grant funds, and all present and future overhead utility lines within the project boundary must be routed away or placed underground, and the project area must remain open and available for use by the public at all reasonable times of the day and year. Facilities can be reserved for special events, league play, etc., but cannot be reserved, leased, or assigned for exclusive use, and the project area must be kept clean, maintained, and operated in a safe and healthful manner. The Ball Knob City Council is well aware and apprised of the above-mentioned project and will provide the local portion of the development cost of the entire project. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Ball Knob, Arkansas, that the mayor is hereby authorized to make application to the Arkansas Department of Parks and Tourism for assistance to develop recreational facilities for the city of Ball Knob, Arkansas, passes first day of July 2019.
I have a question. Where is this?
This is the
Sports
playground.
complex.
Sports complex.
Playground.
That's why we had the,
Survey.
the survey.
I so moved.
Second.
All those in favor? It's unanimous. Are we ready for the next one?
We never did get a chance to go out, everybody go out and look. Do y'all won't even consider this one at one time without going out, everybody looking at it?
I think we need to talk about this.
I feel like we do too, and that's why
Because
I'm willing to do that.
when this, I understand this was all with donated funds.
It won't be all with, the cleanup is donated funds. But once we get it cleaned up, we're still gonna have to go in and have raw property, to develop. That's what I'm raising money for is phase one. And, but we'll try to get more donations to do some, pits, cook pits and tables. But still, there's a lot that's gonna have to be done out there. We're gonna try to do as much of the cleanup and leveling, and we've already burned it once.
Well, maybe I don't know, when I brought up the project to install a playground for the 2 to 5-year-olds, we brought it to the committee, then we brought it to the council, and we voted on it. This one that you're asking for, we hadn't done anything.
I agree, and that's why I'm saying we might need to table it, and I'll tell you why that this came about, and I want you to understand why. When it went up, or when we, at your meeting for the playground equipment, Carrie came up from Hot Wheels Training, she said, I didn't want to try to get any other grant that might interfere, because I was trying to understand, I thought that some of them might interfere, but she said, this one won't interfere, we've got it, $30,000 grant, $15,000 matching, but the city would have to come up with $15,000, and we may not can make this grant with it, because there's a lot to be considered on it. And, but this came up real quick is what I'm saying. So that's why we hadn't discussed it. And I'm willing to table it because it's a very good project, but it came about a little faster than, I don't have my bids here tonight. None of my bids are here tonight. That was kind of the cart before the horse, but that's how it happened. And I want everybody to understand that. Now, that lake out there, everybody understands it's been there. It's just been getting rutted up for years and years and years since I was a child or before. The JCs went out and cleaned it up and put all the tables and the pits in the early 60s when the lake was created. Okay. Then it just kind of went to the wayside and started growing up, and people started rutting it up in the early 70s. Pretty much that's when it started getting deteriorated, and it's grown up. And what I want to do as a Rotary project was go in there, call it phase one, and clean it up, because David Frepin and myself had some equipment I had mine traded for to go in there and clean it up. Well, David's equipment went down and my guys' those were burned, so that's why that I went ahead and fronted the money through the Rotary project to clean it up. But when we get it cleaned up, it's still we're going to have raw property that will be ready to be reviewed. It just this grant came up about a pavilion, and I do want a pavilion out there, and I think everybody can see why. But I think that this grant just came up before we were ready to do it. I think, is that pretty much put in a nutshell?
Well, I think we need to table it till we research it.
I agree.
See if it's something viable.
I just want to explain how that came about.
If I remember correctly, it wasn't that long ago, we were having big problems with college students building bonfires.
They was doing burning pallets out there and causing nails everywhere.
And that goes to the,
started locking it.
Goes
Water
to the
department, I believe, was one locking it, wasn't on or the street. And we
Well,
just
we
go
just
out
keeping
there
it
and we
locked, yeah.
patrol, unlock it, lock it.
and we can't really
It's not
patrol
We
it.
don't have jurisdiction over it.
One time we do security checks, don't get me wrong, but we also do all the way to Powell Funeral Home, which is out of our jurisdiction. So we can't make traffic stops, we have to just pretty much detain the situation.
So let's go ahead and table this, and I'm fully in agreement with that. And then when we have maybe a committee meeting, we'll go out and get everybody to look at it and see where we're at. But I'm going to continue cleaning it, like I said, the phase one as a Rotary project.
I so moved.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Second.
Okay.
All those in favor of tabling the resolution 19-25? That's unanimous.
agreement between the city of Ball Knob, Jeremy Chris, and Francis Balick. That's the trailer mobile home agreement that's out at the sports complex. Any discussion on that before y'all vote on it?
Okay, but now
Everybody's seen it.
we had this problem of you have to own it to live in it. And now he's renting it out.
It is, but see, I'm not wanting to take any sides, but I want to tell you how I see this. That trailer was put there by a Ball Knob officer. I want to make sure that everybody understands. He was living there at the time, and the city has had people living out there in other trailers before. This isn't something new.
But it was their own trailer.
But it was for security measure. And Mr. Balick took another job with the Searcy PD, and he left the trailer. He said he could move it, and he still says he can move it, when the city wants him to. But in the meantime, the council has drawn up a contract with Mr. Balick, and to let Jeremy Chris, Ball Knob current police officer, live out there. Mr. Chris is paying his own rent out there, correct? I want everybody to understand that.
Will be.
Okay, yeah, because Ms. Goss is still out there.
Right, so we transferred it over from Bailey to Misty, the detective.
Right.
And then now she's moving to county.
Right.
Or moving, her job is to county, so she's got 30 days to move out.
And she's pretty much, her days are pretty much up now. You know, the exact date?
Should be at December.
Okay, I knew it was real quick. See, but this isn't anything new, is my point. So, Ms. Goss was out there, she took another job, so now we're looking for another current Ball Knob officer, Mr. Chris, to come out there. And, this ordinance that we've got, the 2003, that superseded the 85 one, it's talking about a mobile home cannot be rented out unless, rent out period. You must live in it yourself. But I'm looking at it, we've done it before, it's not in the same zoning situation. I mean, that's the only way to say it. And, we've done it before, and that's why that y'all made this contractual agreement. It's for the security of the park. I wish that, I wish I had somebody living on my farm just to watch it, that I didn't have to pay. I mean, think about it. I mean, it's a security measure that we're not having to pay any extra money to have it done. Just his presence out there, there's a police officer that lives out there to kind of keep an eye on it. Now, that's my understanding. That's why the police committee has drawn this contract up, correct? If I left out anything, I think I've explained.
Mr. Mayor, I don't deny the good of that at all. But I believe to Dennis's point, this is once again where the city has said, we have a rule and everybody else has a rule.
And we need to make a motion that we go in there and fix that ordinance.
That's what
fix that ordinance.
I believe that's what should be done.
Well,
we're change the ordinance before we consider this, what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we can consider this, but I'm saying that we need to immediately address that ordinance to where we're not in variance to what we're holding other people to.
Yes.
I know I've made a big deal the last 2 meetings we've had about that, but I feel very strongly that if we are really going to attract business, if we're going to attract people to stay and not leave, if we're going to attract people to move in, our yes has to be yes, our no has to be no, and there should be no variance with that. I mean, I just think that we need to be holding ourselves to the same standard.
We do have variances in the city, though.
Yes, but what I'm saying is this is a clear and obvious one.
And it does not say it's asking for a variance. That's just it. It does not say it's asking for a variance. It's a contract. Now, y'all are the ones that vote. If y'all want to table it until we reconsider, the ordinance that governs it, is that kind of
where I'm coming from is I'm saying we should
I'm gonna make a motion, we go in there and modify that ordinance that allows people to do the same thing we're allowing the city to do.
Well,
that's my motion.
I'll second that.
He second.
Yeah, provide security out there.
Well,
Get rid of the mobile home.
And I'm not saying we should get rid of the mobile home. I'm saying we should just make the rest of the town fit.
I made a motion, but I would second. Go in there and modify.
we can't go in there and modify an ordinance tonight.
Well, whatever we gotta do.
Well,
We're gonna go ahead and move.
We're gonna table this.
He
No,
needs
we're
a
going
place
to vote
to
this
live.
in.
He needs a place to live.
Well, that's why, you know,
Where's he living now?
explain.
And he's coming to do the security. I think
Let's
you're
go back to
missing
the
my
motion.
point
Let's,
about,
let's take care of the motion we got, and then we'll take care of this.
Well, but you can't go in, and to my understanding, Tammy, help me here, can you modify an ordinance?
You can amend it.
You can amend it.
That's what we just did with the animal shelters, just made an amendment.
You can amend it, but you have to amend it with an ordinance. You have to amend an ordinance with
It's
an
not
ordinance.
something that you're gonna just take a pen and mark through.
No, it'll have to be prepared by Dawn.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a legal thing.
but we can put it into being that that's our aim at this point, that we are going to fix that.
My motion still stands.
I have a motion and a second, a motion by David, a second by Alvin, to modify the ordinance so that we're not in violation of our own ordinance.
Right.
And now I guess I'll ask for a vote.
Subject to Don Rainey's amendment?
Are you wanting me to add that to this motion?
Well, I'm
David,
asking-
it's your motion. Do you want me to add
You're
that to
gonna
your
have to
motion?
specify what you're doing away with, what you're changing.
Well,
Yeah.
until Don specifies it, I don't, that's my point right there.
He'll
I'm not
do it.
against it.
Well, he'll change it the way we want to change it.
Leave it just like it is. We know Don's gotta do it.
All those in favor? You vote no, Johnny.
I abstain. I'm not comfortable with it. But I agree with you guys that it's not right.
And I
Dennis,
agree
did you
with that
vote
too.
for it or against it? You voted for it?
Yes. Cause I know what it's like to live in a trailer.
That's not unanimous, but it does carry. The motion carries.
Okay, now are we going to allow Mr. Chris to go ahead and live in this trailer and with the intention of changing, modifying the ordinances?
I make the motion that we do allow him to move in with our stated purpose.
I'll second.
All those in favor of this motion? Is that an abstention, Johnny?
Yes.
Okay, the motion does carry.
Thank you. And we'll get some verification soon. Senior Center events?
The ladies from Senior Center are here.
I want to introduce Pam O'Neill. She is our director. She has to be speaking.
We'd like to kind of get permission to extend our kitchen. We need to add an addition to it. When I started cooking there in 2014, we were only serving 17 to 25 people a day. Now our average is 44 and a quarter a day. And the kitchen's just not big enough. We need to be able to add an addition onto the back door and double the size of the kitchen in order to have enough more space for the staff not falling over each other. Because it's bumping into each other in there and that kind of thing.
But you're just asking.
I'm just making permission
for a grant,
for a grant.
from you.
Yes, we want to try to get grants to cover the cost.
That's what I've got down here. You're asking for permission to pursue a grant.
Yes.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to that effect?
So move.
I second.
Everybody in favor?
Thank you.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
All right, roof leak at City Hall. Guess who that falls on again?
I know that David has addressed some of those and found some issues with gutters being clogged. I know that there were a couple other places that did show up, but he's addressing that, and then we're gonna also talk with Absolute Roofing, I believe you and try to get that.
Right, and he just hasn't called yet, but he knows, that we need him to come and get in touch with us. And when he does, I'll get with everybody else, or if he contacts somebody else, please let us all know. So, okay, so basically, we're going to, just table that measure till we get the contact,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
We're taking measures to address it.
Yeah, and, the tiles on the roof down there, do we need to vote to do that? We talked about that
Got
Thursday.
the ones up, I didn't get a count.
Yeah, we've got to go get a count to know exactly.
Okay, well,
And I would like for, maybe for Dennis and Alvin, David and I to go down there, because you guys know much more about building materials and things, but we can look at that and kind of run the numbers.
We're talking about getting them all, basically all looking the same all through
Yes.
that. Yeah, we're not talking about a whole lot of money right there on the tiles. Is everybody happy with that? Whatever the committee decides? Okay. All right, sports complex, it says EpiPen and AED. We found out after this was on here that you have to have a prescription to have EpiPen.
The school's gonna have a meeting the 15th of this month. So if we can, gain some more information, we'll know more in August on that.
Okay, AED, same thing, yeah. And it's not of great importance because of.
It's over.
So,
It's over this year.
and, matter of fact, you wanna make just a real short report on that, tell them how successful it was?
Oh, I know the last game lasted till about 11:30. Not everyone, but we had several comments about how really nice our complex is, and it is. Everyone seemed to be pleased. I think Coach might have had, real little ripple in the water with parents or something, but it went really well.
Okay, well, I've heard nothing but good things, so, and the financial end of it seemed to, come out pretty good. Discussion for survey for sports complex grant, we discussed that, Thursday, got the drawing of it, had to be done in order to apply with the, grant
I
specifications.
scanned and emailed that to Kerry McIntosh, and evidently it's went through okay. I haven't heard anything back yet.
Good, but that's just something that they needed, so you feel good about it, look good to me, look real good to me.
I have something under new business. Okay, quickie. I was at I still call it the Galaxy, whatever it is up here at Dwight.
Yeah.
And I understand that most all of our departments buy petroleum there, have an account, and the water company does not. And
They're willing to give us 3% discount.
Yeah. I don't, according to those people, nobody else gives us 3% discount. Whether that's not a true statement or not, I don't know. But if everybody else is buying it there and they're satisfied, I would I'd make a motion that we.
Jeff has his hand up.
You're getting a 3% discount, but they're 5 cents a gallon more than.
They're higher. And I believe I discussed before that, he's not open a lot of times, that officers need it, so it's, gonna be a mismatch on whether, when we get gas or not.
Why do we not have credit cards? Why do we not have credit cards?
Well, they do not have diesel. I would like to keep the account open when we previously.
There was an inconvenience for
Our
them.
diesel.
Okay.
Phillips 66 on one town got off-road in it.
That's
Exxon,
our street buys there, the
Yeah.
diesel.
Does Exxon have diesel, off-road diesel? They used to, I don't know.
No.
I don't think they do anymore.
Okay.
I withdraw.
Okay, approval of bills.
I move we pay the street fund payables in the amount of $10,258.03.
Who seconded that?
David,
All those in favor, by the usual sign. Thank you.
I move we pay the general fund payables in the amount of $38,044.61.
All those in favor? That's unanimous.
I move we pay the water and sewer payables in the amount of $123,071.17.
Second.
All those in favor? Mayor, I have a quick, sometimes we are in need of a credit card. I think Chuck he's working with the census and he's had to, charge, and today he put it on his personal card. When I have to have something, I put mine on my personal card and reimburse myself. I think probably that we need to look at a credit card for the city. Because we do not have a credit card.
Oh, we did.
Just carried your chicken.
I agree we should have, I mean,
Yeah.
there shouldn't be nobody spending their own.
Well, I move we look into
Well, I-
car.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think once we, if we are approved to have a credit card, there needs to be some rules and guidelines as to, you know, because I'm gonna have certain things that I have to have from the person using the card. And we need to know who is to carry the card, who gets to use it. So,
You'll be in charge of that, because you're like a purchasing agent already. And if somebody wants to check it out, they will deal with you.
Just go to the library and check it out.
That's it. That's the only way I feel comfortable with it, is, you know.
Damn it up.
All right, appreciate everybody coming. Is there any comments from the public on anything we've discussed tonight? Go.
Johnny, we mentioned something earlier about parking.
Oh, we were gonna talk about that, you know, and they asked us to advertise. Now, we have an ordinance against fireworks. It's gonna conflict again here, against, you know, fireworks in the city. I'm expecting that still to stand, even though we're gonna have a permit for the fireworks
They've got a
display.
permit from the state.
Yeah, so.
Well, I move we grant them a variance to coincide with the state permit.
Okay, during that time. So what
Whatever
you're saying,
that,
those hours.
I say, yes,
is it
Okay.
specify the hours?
from 9 to,
Okay.
probably about 30 minutes, 9:30.
9 to 10? Let's put a time on it, 9 to 10. You know,
Get a copy of the state thing attached
okay,
to the
Chief, does that sound good? You cut
So
off
you're
at 10
saying the
o'clock?
city can shoot from 9 to 10?
Well, until 10 o'clock.
Because I didn't send out the group text to everybody saying warning first, next one's a ticket.
Well, I'm asking you
Like
what
we do
you
every
think
year.
about this. So, the time that
I've
the
already
city.
signed off on the 9 o'clock, to 10
Right,
o'clock.
right.
deal
So-
over at the street.
You want to just keep it? It's gonna be hard to just enforce for 9 to 10, to have a cutoff at 10 o'clock. What do you think? I'm asking your opinion
I'm doing what?
on the fireworks.
I've
Cut
got
off
no
at 10
tickets for 9
o'clock.
to 10.
You're saying from 9 to 10, it's open to the public?
Well, till 10 o'clock, I don't see how you cut it
Here's
off.
the trick, we got professionals that are coming out shooting these fireworks out here. You're gonna allow the city, other people to shoot fireworks.
That's what we're discussing
in
right now.
neighborhoods and all that. I'm not gonna carry that vote, I would just stay with our standard ordinance, which is, it's illegal in the city, the permits for that part. They can come watch. It's
So
the
what do I do?
safest thing
That's
to
the way,
do.
that's what it should be.
I had a guy from Alma blow his
we're
foot
just granting a
last
variance
year,
for that event.
trying to stomp on them. I'm just saying, you're gonna look for
Loopholes.
Yeah, and it's just, I think it's unsafe for them. And I love shooting fireworks, I can get some fireworks war all day. But I go where it's allowed.
All right.
Got a motion on the floor, and I have a second by Alvin and a motion by Johnny. Are we all in favor of the variance?
Between 9 and 10. That's
Yes,
what it is,
between
right?
9 and 10, to
Same
coincide, yes.
Coincide with the state
Permit.
Yeah, with state permit. Did you get all
One more
that?
hand up right here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was hoping, like some poor last I did, we ended up getting told on call, and I don't know if y'all aware of it or not, if y'all got one member services on call, then it's double the price of the street competitor. And I had that in writing, and all that stuff, y'all were like.
He's on that jail back there.
Did you understand what he
He's
said?
doing his job, he works all day and all day.
And it is under, the state on that credit card.
Okay, here's the deal. Specifications that I put in place when I first started doing the council meetings, when I asked for public comments on anything to do with the agenda tonight. Now, if you want
Okay, I'm
to,
sorry.
okay, that's okay, but, you know, but I just want to explain, just out of respect. Anything at the council meeting itself, we ask for comments that had to do with anything on the agenda. You can get on the agenda and you can come to
this morning,
the break. Well, it was already said.
I'm afraid I'm sorry. I must have misspoke. I'm sorry.
Okay. And we really do need to have a time frame, like a cutoff when we can be on the agenda.
That's
you know,
Thursday.
So, yeah, and because it needs to be discussed at the pre-council meeting, so anytime before the pre-council meeting would be the time to get on the agenda. So if you would like to speak to us, get on the next pre-council meeting, which is the last Thursday of the month.
Okay, yes.
Okay, and I appreciate you coming.
Okay, come back here next, the last Thursday.
Go to see Tammy.
Go to the clerk.
Yeah, go to
Get on the
clerk
agenda.
treasurer and give her something in writing what you want to discuss.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right. Okay.
Anything, any other comments having to do with the agenda items tonight? Thank everybody for coming, meeting adjourned.